this week.
Five Oaks has been developed into one of those places that it truly enhances the waterfowling experience. Start shooting now. A few weeks ago, while hunting on the Black River WMA with our friend Cody Riggin, Chris Brengard extended the generous invitation to have us come join him in Stuttgart, Arkansas at the legendary Five Oaks Lodge. It's truly a unique waterfowling experience. This lodge was established in 1983 by George Dunklin and his sister Deborah.
We're on some of our family's property that my grandfather actually acquired back in the early 1900s, and so this has been in our family since then. And I came over when I got out of college at Memphis State back in 1980. I moved back over here. I grew up in Pine Bluff, and this is one of our properties that had not been developed. And so I started developing this property for farming and for hunting at the same time back in 1981. And the lodge and the property has just evolved over since 1981 to where it is today.
We've been in a lot of duck camps in the past, but very, very few of them have the type of accommodations that Five Oaks has. Five Oaks has been developed into one of those places that it truly enhances your waterfowling experience. As George says, he doesn't so much think of it as a commercial operation, but as a way to promote waterfowling and the waterfowling way of life. In addition to the warm and friendly lodge, Five Oaks also offers a variety of other entertainment, including tennis courts and a full 5-stand sporting clays course. And if you're really lucky, you get their best entertainment package of all, Miss Shelby Free. Shelby's the daughter of one of the lead guides here, Mr. Bill Free, and she's also the 3-time Women's World Duck Calling Champion.
I'm on Drake Pro Staff, Mossy Oak Pro Staff, Rich and Tone, and Mountain Khakis. It's taken me a lot of places like Canada, South Carolina, Delaware for Green Wing events, Nashville, a lot of fun places and stuff. Like he said, this will consist of my hail call, feed call, comeback call, and lonesome hen call.
3 or 4 nights a week, Shelby comes out and she demonstrates her world championship duck calling routine to the visitors here at the lodge. Almost all of the hunting at Five Oaks is either done in standing green timber or in rolled rice fields. Because it had been extremely cold in the 2 weeks before our arrival, most of the timber was frozen solid with 4 or 5 inches of ice in some places. So the first morning, our guide Scott took us to the Monsanto field. Once we got to the parking lot, we pulled one of the Argos out of the garage, threw all of our gear in the back of it, and headed down the rice levee for the pit. What's up, brother?
You awake this morning?
Yeah, I'm awake. 5 a.m., usually it's pretty hard to roll out of the rack. But it wasn't so bad on the first day here. Walked into the heated boot room. Boots were warm, dry. All the guides were in there. Coffee was ready. Everybody looks at the board and you figure out who you're going with and where you're going that day. Our first hunt was on the Monsanto farm with our guide Scott and my buddy Cody. Once we got to the parking lot, we pulled one of the Argos out of the garage, threw all of our gear in the back of it, and headed down the rice levee for the pit. Putting my new Drake gunsling on my shotgun. My ancient one was absolutely worn out, so just having to replace it with a new one. The really neat thing about the new Drake gunslings is the fact that they're adjustable on both ends. Really like the give of the neoprene. It's a lot more comfortable with the wide strap on your shoulder than some of the older models that other manufacturers put out there. And the adjustability of it's pretty doggone handy also. Today it's only 35 right now and expected to get a whole lot warmer. So with the thaw, the ducks should move back out into the field. On the day previous to our arrival, the temperature had gotten above 40 degrees for the first time in weeks, and the fields finally began to thaw out. More importantly, it provided a lot of much-needed new water for the ducks. As a matter of fact, as we crawled into the pit that morning, you could hear ducks and geese all around us taking advantage to this newly opened food source. The pit that we were hunting in hadn't been hunted in several weeks, and so we felt pretty optimistic about our chances there. When you throw in hearing all those ducks and geese in the background, we knew it was going to be a pretty solid shoot. Nice job. Take it. I led that. Thank you. I led that sucker by it seemed like 8 feet as fast as they were flying in here. Man, they were moving on, weren't they?
The blackjack, wasn't it?
Yeah. Send him right in here. Hold on. Good job. All right, good shot, Cody. Nice job. Oh, he's on the eye. Kill him, kill him. Tag me. Back. Is that another gray duck? Kill it, Cody. Cody, kill it. Yep. Bouncer's gonna take my ear off in just a minute.
Bouncer.
Good shot. Thank you for backing me up, brother. Nice job. Good to have backup, baby. It's nice to have somebody backing you up.
Cody likes that flare shot.
He does like that flare shot. He can flat out do it too. And I can flat out flare him, so we're a good combination.
Here at Five Oaks, what Jody's and our basic saying is whatever we do on the landscape, we look at it. What is this going to look like? If we're going to change something, we're going to plant trees, or we're going to alter the landscape. What's it going to look like 100 years from today? And if you can envision what it's going to look like 100 years from today, and it's a good thing, then that's pretty good. That gives you a pretty good answer that that's the right thing to do for today. And then, because 100 years will be here one day, obviously.
After a successful hunt that morning, we came back to the lodge and tucked into a big breakfast of bacon, eggs, sausage, biscuits, gravy, and all the fixings.
Yep. 3 days.
They ate a little better than you did last night.
I want it. Later on in the day, we had the opportunity to sit down with Miss Shelby Free and talk to her a little bit about how she got into duck calling. Now tell me, when did you first enter a competition?
About 6 years old, that Thanksgiving.
Really? Did you win it?
No, I don't think so. I didn't start winning until when I was 13 in junior women's. I never won the little kids things. I was like, I'm no good at this. And I stuck with it because you have to get out of it when you're like 10. So I stuck with it until I was about 12, 13. And I was like, Dad, I'm just no good at this. I was like, I don't think I'm going to stick with it. He was like, well, just one more year. And 13, I won it. And I was like, oh, I like this.
Cool, cool. So you won the girls' junior championship as a 13-year-old.
Yes.
And then you had to move into the women's class. Is that correct?
Yes.
Your first year that you won the women's, I guess, was 2006.
2006 when I was 14 years old. And that was the youngest anybody can enter.
Tell me a little bit about that experience.
It was the best feeling in the world because I got up there and I practiced and practiced and practiced because Mr. Butch had told me over and over again, well, I mean, we're going to practice a lot and we're going to get your basics down, but it's probably going to take a few years for you to be able to win this. And I was like, well, okay. So I get out there and everybody said I blew 3 clean routines and I got almost perfect scores, but I just wasn't feeling like it was right. And they announced first runner up. And that means that I won, and I jumped, and Dad ran up on the stage and hugged me so big. It was amazing.
Who do you think was more proud of you, Butch or your father?
Probably my dad.
Cool, cool. And your dad's been pretty instrumental in keeping you calling. Do you hunt with him also?
I do hunt with him, and he teaches me how to call in the woods because I really don't get that opportunity as much. Mm-hmm. He'll tell me, when the ducks are coming in, you need to do this call. When the ducks are going away, you need to do this call, and so and so and so and so.
You've got to meet a whole lot of duck callers through all of this competition, I'm sure. Who's your hero? Who do you look up to and say, boy, this guy's got it?
Definitely Mr. Butch Richenbach, but also Todd Copley and Mike Anderson is a really nice guy, and they all have helped me through everything. If I need anything, I can call them, and they can listen to my routine whenever I need them, and it's a lot of fun.
And I'm sure Mr. Bill Free fits in there pretty
Oh,
highly
yes.
too. Cool. Who's the better duck caller? When you're out there calling ducks between you and your daddy, who's number one?
Well, of course, we both think that we're number one, but he gets a lot more experience than I do, but we both sound pretty good.
Cool. Well, hopefully we'll get the opportunity to have you out in the blind with us one day soon. And it's been a pleasure to meet you and to get to talk to you. With the warmer weather, we were really hoping that on day 2 we could get out in the flooded green timber. But unfortunately, the ice was so thick down in the bayou that it just wasn't going to happen. So the second day we set out with our guide, Bill Free, and we headed back to the Monsanto farm to a different pit.
Going to the Monsanto farm, which is approximately about a 600-acre rice farm. We'll be hunting in the pits up there. We've got around 3 different pits that we can hunt out of. We'll hunt in the MF4 this morning, which hasn't been hunted in about 10 to 12 days. So we'll be hunting down in the pits in the rice field this morning. Should be pretty good.
When we got into the pit, it was almost a replay of day 1, with ducks and geese in the air everywhere, but with one big difference: beautiful blue skies overhead. It's absolutely beautiful out here this morning. We've got probably 1,000 snow geese over here to our right that you can hear, and looks like we're gonna have a beautiful sunrise over our left-hand shoulder. Absolutely a perfect day. One of those days that makes you know why you come out here to hunt ducks.
Somebody smoke that sucker.
Ella! Good shot, Chris. Here. Good girl. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Oh, the guy that can't hit anything. You know, I can't hit them when they're right here in my face. Take me a mile out there and try to story of my life. Chris, what happened? You went to the J. Paul Jackson School of Shooting, haven't you?
Cameraman got my wife.
Right here. Ella! Is that what that was? Dang it. Hollywood Mallard.
Well, that guy was down here on the subject, and he, I think they come on.
I would say they're low enough. See it? See it. Back it on. Got that one. Missed that one. Sit it. Hold on. See it? Yep. Ella. All right, well, we scratched one out anyway.
They don't have them.
Yeah. Man, when they come in that fast, I'll tell you, it's just... Come on, baby. Locked, locked, and ready to rock, baby. Kill it. Oh, nice! Nice shot!
Start shooting now.
There's that. Kill him. Good job, guys. That ends us up. That would be 3 full limits of ducks. Ella!
That's pretty close right there.
All right. despite the fact that we really didn't have any wind, we still had an amazing number of birds come in and work our decoys. And before 9 o'clock came, we all three had our limits. You know, we got to spend a lot of time doing a lot of unique things. We got to hunt at Five Oaks Duck Lodge, which has to be a dream destination for any waterfowler around the country. We got to listen to the talented Miss Shelby Free blow her duck call and do her world championship duck calling routine. Additionally, we got to enhance some old friendships and we got to make some new ones. So when we left Stuttgart, Arkansas, we didn't have just one memory in the bag. We had a whole bunch of bands that we'd collected.
Want to join the Migration Nation? Go to drakesmigration.com to find out how.